getting things set up here. Hello, hello. Ready. So, long time no see. Forgotten about me yet? Got a fresh glass or fresh stainless steel mug of water, and I'm ready to go for today. So let's just get the very first thing out of the way. Yeah, I was gone last week, and it was because I wasn't in a great space to be doing a stream. Um, I just had a lot of work that I needed to do in order to get my affairs in order, and simply put, I got laid off. Hooray! I guess. I got laid off from my job, and it is kind of stressful, but at the same time also kind of liberating because I've been kind of out of it, so to speak, with the role and everything, and so I'm just ready to try to start a new chapter in life. I put together the prep work for this over the past 2 years, but now it's time to actually test it. So, what does that mean for you? Well, it means that I'm gonna have a lot more time to start doing more art and be able to try out a couple more things that I normally couldn't because I didn't have the energy to after work. And sometimes not even the time to do it. And then just see what I can do. So what my plans for the upcoming while, I guess, is this. So first thing, I'm gonna gradually work on this streaming, and that is gonna be just increasing the duration and frequency, but incrementally, because I don't want to overwhelm myself. So what I'm gonna be doing going from here is starting to push up against that 2 hour limit that I put on myself. And then when I'm able to do that a little bit more consistently, then I'll start adjusting my hours. So it'll be longer and longer streams. One of the things I gotta be careful about this is I don't want to rush into things too quickly because I have a sort of friend, mostly client, who had been doing a lot more streaming, a lot more singing, and because of that, she had throat issues for a while. And so I don't want to wreck myself before getting into a good pace, because that's the worst. You hobble yourself at the start of a race, and then you kind of have to bid out or limp your way through and risk more damage down the line. And I think once I get to about 4 hours on average, then I'll start adding more streams. And the first one I had in mind was Sunday Fun Day. And this is kind of a personal thing that I've been doing for myself already, but get that written down. I'm terrible at multitasking. But these are gonna be like design challenges. Just more fun stuff. There'll be less of a businessy talk that we'll be having right now. Say Wednesdays is when I kind of talk a little bit about the trials and tribulations of running a art business, kind of what my plans are, how I'm addressing different things. And so Sundays will be more relaxed, more fun. Yeah, I hope you guys will like it. If you were familiar with my my YouTube videos or my YouTube channel before I went away for a while and then came back to streaming, I was doing edited videos as well. And now that I have more time to do things, I'm able to open up DaVinci Resolve and finally figure out how to use this thing. I was using Premiere before, but sheesh, there's just so many subscriptions for everything these days. It's just kind of crazy. And one of those things that I did for the stream is, so you're probably noticing already, but I set up a pretty cool little folder on my machine, and I have VLC playing a shuffle list through all of that, and that is what the soundtrack is right now. So it's replacing Spotify with the assortment of different royalty-free music segments that I have. So I'm still figuring out the audio levels and everything. Hopefully it's been fine for you guys so far. I am gonna be working on the Patreon stuff, and more specifically a Snail Mail Club. It seems pretty popular these days, and I've been wanting to do one for a while. And the idea that I have, it's still on Patreon. I think it's already been built, but it just hasn't been consistently put out because I just haven't had the time to with work and all. but the idea is art print, probably a 5x7, then recipe. And this kind of comes back to what I believe in. I really want to see more art that you can actually eat. And I don't mean just grabbing the Mona Lisa off the wall and shoving it in your mouth. No, I mean the food art that has an actual recipe attached to it, so you can cook what you see. And the thought there being it just brings a little bit more excitement to your lives, because I feel like I specialize a little bit more in the weird combinations, weird concepts, but still tasty ideas. For example, the abduction burger. So that's a burger with goat cheese, kiwi and lime jelly, the regular smash burger fixings. And so that is actually going to be my first one for the month of April. The biggest challenge I think with this one is going to be actually figuring out the pretzel bun, because I know it's definitely possible to get this shape, but getting that repeatable is going to be the challenge. And then just a little bit of a how do you do letter, a little drop about the concept that of the recipe of the month. So with that, and then another thing I'm doing is I am finally taking the time to transition my store. Right now I use Big Cartel and Etsy, but the problem is Big Cartel has a couple of challenges that I'm not quite happy with. One being the product limitations. I could increase my plan, but that would only bring me up to 500. And while 500 sounds like a lot, it really isn't that much when you consider things like, oh, I want to do digital products, I want to do bundles, I want to do pre-orders. You know, every single one of those are going to add over time. And then discounts. Right now, Big Cartel is kind of like a coupon code type of thing. So what that essentially means is that you can only apply one discount at a time to the transaction itself. So you either have to have a really broad brush of a discount, or you have to do some kind of weird manual order notes for selecting your products. And so for example, keychains, you could purchase a keychain individually. Or you have to select the bundle option. And then in the order notes, they, keychain 1, 5, 7. And I cannot tell you how many people I've had to chase down afterwards because they didn't put anything in, or the bundle information, or the choices that they made. And so by switching off of that, I'll be able to avoid some of those awkward chase down conversations. And then Etsy, who has been a year at least for Etsy. Been controversy. There's been a significant decline in traffic. The controversy mostly coming from their approach to managing the kind of sellers that show up on the platform, the quality of the products that show up on the platform, and then they're charging us out of a lawsuit for everything. There's listing fees, there's renewal fees, there's fees for advertising. If they bring in anybody to your store, they take a good chunk of that. There's transaction fees. Oh boy, the list just goes on and on. So what I'm doing there is switching to Shopify, and honestly, it's kind of going nice. Let me see here. Grab a real quick screenshot. And voila. So yeah, I am working on the Shopify website, getting all of that set up. I'm still working on products and whatnot, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to launch it within the next couple of days, at the very least, with the view of the basic things. New products, a couple of pre-orders, because of course I got laid off. I don't have money to throw around like I used to from my day job, and so now I have to do a little bit more pre-orders than before in order to justify the expense on getting things manufactured. I'll still be able to instantly put out stickers, prints, and magnets, those kind of smaller items, because I have the equipment for that. But I don't have the DTF printers, the UV printer. I don't have a solid acrylic cutter, so I can't do the production for keychains or pins at this point in time without a manufacturer. Take a quick sip of water here. But hey, if things go well, maybe I'll finally get one. So there's that. That is kind of the plan for the next couple of months. Let's move on to the other topic. So last week, if I was gonna stream, I was gonna tell you about what I did at the Tri-City Con. Okay, so Tri-City Con is it's like a Comic Con in Grand Island, Nebraska, and trying to think, I think that was somewhere around here. So yeah, I'm traveling from out of state all the way through Omaha, almost, but it's actually like right past Lincoln to away. And I basically made $20 after everything was all said and done. I just barely covered my expenses. Related to travel, related to the booth and all of that. Excuse me. I did rent a Airbnb and split it between 8 people. And then I drove, and it is, I want to say, about 5 hours. And there's a story about the way back, I'll tell you in a little bit. I was basically set up right in the back corner of the entire hall. Let's see. I think it was like this. We had some boots along the back. And I was right here. So I was just kind of peeking out a little bit. And then we had load in and load out over here. And then entrance was over here. Couple of boots here, couple here. There were like some kind of auction. There was a main stage. Concession. I think a couple of rows with this. So yeah, it was quite the ways away to get to my booth. And I would say the event itself was probably 2,000 at best, attendance wise. Mm, 2,000 might actually be a little bit high if I'm being honest. So maybe 1.2k. And I kind of got the luck of the draw as far as the placement was. Other than just me being right here, I also had the trading card reseller people, like four of them over in this area. So this whole area was just kind of jammed up with people. And then those who did eventually escape the gravitational pull of the location, they just kind of skipped everything. So it was a tough show, that's for sure. However, what really saved this show, in my opinion, was the stamp rally that I was involved in for this particular show. And honestly, this stamp rally that I was in, I think is just so effective at what it does that I'm actually pushing to spread the idea to other stamp rallies that I'm doing, because it was free. That's number one. So you didn't have to worry about having too many people involved with the rally itself. We kept it to 8 people. And what you got as a prize for that was a set of artist trading cards as a pack. And that was what I had shown you guys in a prior week. And it was actually pretty fun putting that together. That was part of the reason why we had the Airbnb in the first place, because everybody had their own cards and we brought it together, and we used a heat sealer thing that one of the artists had, and so we could seal up like essentially foil packets with the cards in them. And it was very fun. Just real quickly recreate what I did here. I've been doing a lot of these, just like silly little scribbles, just to keep myself, limbered up. So it's been nice. But yeah, the objective for this is to find the alien at each of our booths for a stamp. And the alien was just a little dude. I mean, he was tiny. And he came in a couple of different colors. Mine was purple because I love purple. And what I had done with mine was over in the keychain section, where I have everything that I managed to bring for that show. Unfortunately, the keychains that I ordered via Grace, they actually arrived Tuesday after the show, and so I didn't have them. Such a shame, because I had 36 different designs for the keychains and the same amount for pins. They're the same kind of wooden pins that I have for everything else, just because I prefer wood over acrylic. But anyway, I still had some keychains, not a whole lot, and the keychains were on a grid rack. So you can kind of see behind it. And I just had the little alien dude clipped right over here. And the funny thing about this was, if you were angled at the table, so this is where the cubes were. And right over here, if you were like standing anywhere in here, you couldn't see them, because he was pointed so that if you stood over here, then you would see him. But it's like this. Just the act of moving over here made it look like he was popping out. So it was just tremendous fun. But here's the thing about this rally. I love it because it's free, it's fun. You don't have to worry about having too many people involved, although you probably still want to limit it somewhat. But the thing is, it really encouraged inspection of the booth. So you really scoured the entire booth to find the little alien dude. And because of that, it became more and more likely that someone would see something that they would love and then result in a sale. So it's just like a very natural sales tactic that isn't scummy. You know, you don't have to participate, you don't have to buy anything, but just the act of being there, participating, it gave you more opportunities to have a conversation to really earn that sale. So that was a lot of fun. I would absolutely do it again. Would I go back to that particular convention? I hesitate a little bit just because, well, if you're going to be spending 10 plus hours driving to the location, uh, probably another 6 hours or so related to load in and load out. And then the actual event days itself. That's not really $20 worth. But I do have a lot of friends who are in the Nebraska area. So this is less of a profit convention as it is a I'm here to have some fun kind of convention. And I reckon, you know, maybe next year, maybe a year or two from now, I come back, I have a better selection of different things that would probably appeal to more of a traditional Comic-Con crowd. Maybe the Pokemon card craze goes away. Who knows? It might become a better show overall. Now, here's a story about the trip. If you're somewhat familiar with the weather in the United States at that point in time, we were dealing with the massive blizzard. Oh boy. And when I say massive, I mean it was crazy. In hindsight, I should have just stopped and I should have just ate the, you know, 150 bucks or something to get a hotel for the night. But my pride kind of got in the way. I was a little bit too stubborn. I did not want to just turn the trip back into a negative just because of that. So I just topped it out. I'm just doodling a little bit for illustrative purposes. But yeah, it was scary. It was whiteout conditions essentially. And the major highways that connected to where I live, those had shut down in like rather large segments. Yeah, so what I ended up having to do is travel up, and then the closures happen, and I'm just going through like a insane amount of back roads until I finally hooked up down here, and finally got home. And I got home at basically 1:30 in the morning. I had taken off at 6, so I was driving for about 7.5 hours to get home. Oh my goodness, it was whiteout conditions. I was white knuckling my my steering wheel for most of the way, and there was actually a point where I had drifted quite a bit off into the incoming lane on the back roads, but fortunately the incoming traffic was a ways away, but the wind was also enough to actually make my car kind of topple a little bit and start skidding. I got a tiny little hatchback of a car, so it was just not fun. And there was also a point where I thought I had gotten a speed trap, because it suddenly went from 45 down to 20 mile per hour. But I haven't seen any tickets in the mail yet. But I was going for like 15 to 5 mile per hour under the limit. Yes, so it was a long road home. I was very tired. I logged into Slack and did my timesheets for work. And what did that give me? I got laid off 2 days later, so yeah. That wasn't the game. That wasn't the game. let's see. So that was my Tri-City Con experience. And then the previous week, I still had a convention well, not a convention, but a farmer's market type of experience that I had signed up for as my experiments for this year. Just to see, hey, can I be successful at these kind of shows versus these other shows, especially with the number of conventions rejecting people nowadays is getting a lot more difficult to get into a convention. And that's part of the reason why I'm working on alternative sources of income for everything, is just get a little bit more stability. I'll take a little bit of water here. This one was I was being a little dumb and didn't really check the distances when I was planning my weekend, and it was actually in a town that was about 2 hours away. So I was driving quite a ways away. And it was a tiny little farmer's market. Fortunately, it was not an outdoor one, but just one that was in kind of an art center. And it was pretty much like a little gym area. No, I would call it more of a meeting space than anything. And we had entrances over here, and it's sort of entrance over here, but that wasn't really used because that was just loading over here. But some people would leave a event that way, but it was primarily through here. And my booth was right over here. Couple of little ones here. But yeah, it was a very small location. Let's see. I would say there's about 15 of us total. Which in a way can be good, in a way it could be bad. And I would say overall attendance was probably 150. Oh, Tri-City Con was I believe 75 for the booth fee, which is honestly shocking in this day and economy, because a normal convention these days in this area, it's going to be very difficult to get into one for less than $250. So when I saw that price tag, I'm like, sign me up. But you have to consider that maybe the price tag is the price tag for a reason. This one was like 35. Again, low, but probably for a reason. And this one, I made pretty much like $20 as well, after expenses. Lovely folks, lots of families, that's for sure. And for the farmers market in particular, I just brought my originals, some stickers and my art prints. I didn't bring anything too out there. I did bring some of the keychains and pins that I got in, but I just did a small selection of them rather than the whole collection, because some of them are just like Pokemon keychains, so I couldn't really bring those. And I didn't want to just like completely overlap with two of the same designs as keychains and pins for the event. And so I'm just kind of taking a sample of each and bringing it to the shows, see how they do. And with that, I will tell you that at these kind of events is going to be very low cost, consumable, more traditional type of items. I could have told you this with the craft fair, but I think it's just worth reiterating here. If you're gonna do these kind of shows, I would put your focus on stickers, cheap prints, more on fandom, you would also benefit quite a bit if you were selling actual food at these type of events, because it seems like that's what most of them come to, is type of event for, is the food, whether it's a craft fair or farmers market. But yeah, your average order value is going to be very low, and I would say probably only do these type of events if you're like local, seriously local, so you can keep your expenses low. That's what I would do there. Do again? No. It is just not worth the 2-hour drive one way to get there. Just to sell a bunch of stickers. It just wasn't worth it. Let's see. I think I basically covered all of the businessy topics for now. So let's get back to the more fun art things. Let's see here. Gonna switch over. Now, I was originally gonna work on this, but it's separately. But I just never got around to it. So I'm gonna be doing 2 different things for this segment. I'm gonna finish up this, and then I'm gonna tell you something else about using Clip Studio Paint. I got the Bulbasaur, and if you've kind of forgotten what's going on here, this is a part of the Kanto Kitchen series that I'm trying to do for photo prints and recipes. So the Patreon Snail Mail Club is gonna be pretty similar, except the Patreon has some additional things to it, and this will be just the print and the recipe to go with it, just to kind of boost that value over a traditional print. And I would love to turn it into a Pokédex cookbook type of thing, because I want to do all 151 Pokemon as part of his collection. And then if I'm still into the idea after having done all of that, I might go further and do additional collections of the following generations. So I'm gonna focus on this little herb bundle up here. And just turn that back on. Okay, I got a image of the bundles here. And I'm gonna start with the dark colors here and work my way out into the lighter materials. And as always, in the chat or in the comments below on the VOD, I'm always open to questions, suggestions, ideas, comments. Because I want to make this a fun experience for you guys as well. That's always the thing I have to remind myself, is I'm not in Clip Studio Paint, so I can't just be hidden space willy-nilly to pan stuff around. It's been real fun to see all the um what's the phrase I'm looking for? Yaru Ginchakuts coming out of a Pokemon from Pokopia. I think that's how you say it. But yeah, there's just been so many of them lately. But it's really been fun just seeing all the different ideas that people have for the designs of everybody. Like Bulbasaur, Wordle, Charmander, and such. Um, I'm not too jazzed about this, but there's always just kind of the experimentation and seeing if maybe what it needs is just a little course correction somewhere. Um, gonna start removing a little bit of the alpha at the top. It could be just if I have something at the top, then it'll look a little bit better. We shall see. Could also be just one of those things that I just have to deal with in post-production. Once I get a sense for how things are laid out. Mm, maybe just looking up something here. The thought that's coming to me is tomatillos. That might be something that we can use to kind of get around the messy looking feel of this. So I'm gonna wipe that out and start over. So you can kind of see the vision, I hope, with this. So just kind of sample the colors here first. And then the leaves are going to be the most defining characteristic of this. Yeah, it's looking a little bit better. And add some of the stains. Take this and darken it up a little bit just for the back side. Then just a little bit of erase alpha. is gonna be kind of a imperfect erasure here, just to give it a little bit of character. And then a little bit of grunge. Just texture this bad boy up. Quickly take that layer off. And that's not it. Yeah, okay. Then I think I still have my scalped pepper in here somewhere. There. Okay. Okay. Save out. And start texturing the lovely, lovely cheese. Mamma mia. So, first order of business, get rid of it. Okay. I think I'm gonna start out with the basic hard brush. It is one thing that I've been told that kind of helps with the process of picking colors and that kind of thing is just to limit the overall palette when you're laying down your base colors. And so, for example, for this, I would only take the kind of off yellow here, and then the orange from over here. Use that to develop the base color, and then build upon that in the next iteration with additional shades or additional colors as needed. But just not trying to keep picking the same or different colors in areas until you're ready to work on the details as well. Alrighty, so these. I still want a little bit of the meat to peek out. So I'll probably go up to the edges on this side, but just have a little bit of it over here. A little bit of the marinara there. And regarding that tip, it is also helpful just to think about it in terms of materials. And so you got a material for a side of a green pepper, got a material for the inner edge where you made the cut, you got a material for the inner flesh where you put everything in, you got a material for the leaves of a tomatillo, got a material for the body of the tomatillo. You do your limits on how many colors based on the number of materials, and that way it makes it easier. So in this case I have a tomato marinara sauce, and in here there's the dark red, the middle red, and then the highlights. Highlights themselves are considered a detail element, and so you would have the red and the lighter red as your primary color picks. And I probably should use a grunge for this one, just to give it that nice ragged edge to it. Actually, with the highlights, I think this would be actually a better use of the art brush. adding a little bit of dimension to the cheese. And a little bit of darkness. When you kind of zoom out at this scale, you don't see a ton, but the fact that it's kind of there helps a lot with identifying it. It's also kind of useful sometimes just to color directly in the overall image here. That way you can see what details matter. I think that's pretty good as is. And I adjust this right here. All right. I think that is probably the best it's gonna be for a bit. So I'm gonna save that. Take a quick drink. Hope you all having a good day so far. All right, switching gears. Switch the active thing. Okay. Here we are. Another blank canvas. Yay. But it's kind of a finishing act for today's stream. I want to tell you a little bit about someone new or kind of not new in my life. His name is Pistachio. And if you're familiar with my Discord profile, you'll know that for a while I was considering the name change to Yumi Beanie, which is a combination of Yumi and Konbini. So Yumi being the sea and Konbini being the convenience store. And so Pistachio started out as a shopkeeper. And he's a turtle. But after a little bit of pushing from a friend of mine, I decided to flesh out the character a little bit. And gonna draw him a little bit here. We'll see. His statue, he hasn't done very much. But in his spare time, he's been doing a lot of studying. And thanks to a series of, shall I say, fortunate events, he has finally got his certification. So now he is Pistachio the chef. So now he's no longer working at a convenience store, but working in a restaurant. Great for him. Very happy for him. He is a soft shell turtle. Still wears the classic apron. And still has a wave design from his initial iteration. This reminds him of home, you know? Got a tiny hat just because he is very new to all of this and just need more practice with the overall concept before he can call himself a true proper chef. But why am I telling you about him? Well, I thought it would be fun just to kind of doodle, do a little bit of world building, but then also work on some stickers. Trim them up a little bit. And just like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, he only has 3 fingers. And out of his outfit, Joe has a tiny tail that sticks out. Very cute. The mm, just thinking about some ideas for stickers. I'm probably not gonna go into like the super bit detail rendering and all of that for this, but at least just kind of get the idea out. The one thing that I always kind of find funny about turtles is the way that everything kind of folds up when they shrink. That's kind of what I'm trying to convey here. Hmm. What else? I just love to walk. So I'm gonna use it at every chance I can. You're telling me a turtle fried this rice? Um, trying to do that one cat meme, but it's been a while since I've drawn an otter, so kind of looking like a cat here. Uh, let's see. Hmm. Okay, I actually think I'm gonna call it here. I I feel like I got a lot done, so I'm very happy about that. Um, Thank you all for coming, and hope to see you guys next week. Until then, have a good night.